Welcome back, folks. I'm MTG Joe, and we're going to be playing a couple decks, versions of Oko, see which one we like most. I'm going to be playing a best of one variant to see for the upcoming event on the weekend. It is if you go 12-1 with this event, so it's best of one. If you lose a game, you're out. But if you get 12 wins, you win every card in Standard. I think 10 wins is you win every card in Throne of Eldraine. But want to just test it out. Oko seems like a really powerful card, and I haven't played too much with it at this point. So I want to test out a couple different shells. So this particular one is a Simic ramp deck. I believe it originated from Brad Nelson, but it's put up a couple results on the ladder for MTGO results, a few 5-0s. So this is a deck that I'm a little bit familiar with to some extent from last season. Where you're ramping early into a Nissa, and then you pump a bunch of mana into either Voracious Hydra or Hydroid Krasis. A couple new additions to the deck. Gilded Goose is effectively our Llanowar Elf replacement, but it can fix our colors. This gets fed food tokens by Oko. So Oko is, at the minimum, comes down, can deal with a big threat and turn into a 3/3. You can create food tokens to further ramp. You can take those food tokens and make them into 3/3s. You can exchange your goose for one of your opponent's creatures. So it's quite useful to have quite a few effects. Its toughness goes up quite a bit as well, and it's a good way of just slowing down the game while we ramp ahead. Brazen Borrower is the card I'm not 100% sure its utility in the deck. It is a bounce spell. It is flash. I'm not sure if it's better served as either like Risen Reef or something like Mass Manipulation, anything of the such. So we'll play it out, see how it goes, and take it from there. We have Wicked Wolf, which is an amazing card with Oko. So basically what this does is it enters the battlefield, you fight a creature. But when it's entering the battlefield, you can put full control with the trigger on the stack, sacrifice a food token either made from Oko or the Goose, and you put a 1/1 counter on it and it gains indestructible. You can also keep feeding tokens with Oko to keep making indestructible and kind of go through that avenue. And then Nissa is basically the gold standard, if you may, of green aggro. So this will allow you to ramp up, create elementals, and just grab a bunch of lands from your deck, so it's constant pressure. Refilling our hand with Hydroid Krasis. Mana base wise, pretty standard. You got your Temple of Mysteries in lieu of the Hinterland Harbors. Couple Castle Garenbrig. Of note, it goes from 4 to 6 mana, which allows us to draw an extra card. So you have 5 lands out. You can get 6 mana, so that draws us an extra card with Hydroid Krasis, puts an extra point of toughness on the Voracious Hydra. And then just to fix our mana base, I'm playing a couple Fabled Passages, just to kind of make sure we hit our land drops as they come in, and when we need the blue, we can hit the blue on curve. Like I said, this is a best of one variant, so I'm going to be playing it in that format. The deck from MTGO did have a sideboard. If we play this later in best of 3, I'll run it through, but I'm going to just include the full deck list with the sideboard should you want to play in traditional ranked. So it's pretty much the list. I will run it through some best of one decks. We are middle of gold. Play it through, and we'll get a feel for it. Excited to play Oko. So Friday I will be getting a box of Throne of Eldraine, so I'll be doing a deck unboxing on the channel. So something a little bit different. Hopefully crack some cool cards, see if we can do any giveaways. I feel like this hand's pretty slow. But we can bounce with Oko, Brazen, and then play Oko, so maybe we keep it. Gotta learn the deck, so we'll see what hands are good and what aren't. Yeah, and then with Friday's release coming up, if you are purchasing any cards from TCG Player, I do have an affiliate link in the video description down below on YouTube. Follow the link, do your purchase as normal. It's a free way to help support the channel with a purchase you'd already be making. If you don't buy physical cards or don't shop through TCG Player, simple way to support the channel for free is either subscribing on YouTube or dropping a follow on Twitch. This is likely aggro, and we're not really going ahead, so I think I'm okay with just bouncing their threat this turn and then playing Oko into a clean board. Because we're likely, unless we could fight, but then that takes our turn, I'd rather just do Oko. Let's go like that. So this is some sort of Rakdos aggro deck. They will get the flash on it, but it's 2 damage we fog for the turn. Of note, this can only block creatures with flying, so we can't even trade with the adapt.
Open your heart to the magic that dances around. It's not poison.
So next turn I can Voracious Hydra. Okay, that's fine. So here, actually let's set it up like this. Let's drop the goose down. Let's make this into a creature.
Gaze
and then hit into our
face,
opponent.
Put on your true shape.
So pretty solid so far. So they have Flame Blade. Do we just... what are the chances? So they can't have Heartfire. Take the 2. I don't really think we need the goose, so let's just keep Oko's Life Fire. I think we could just win off that. Some menace. Don't want the land here. Sacrifice another creature. So what I like about this deck is you can kind of play control, but you can turn the corner pretty quickly. And then we have 8 creatures that fight when they enter the battlefield. So pretty solid so far. We also have 3 power in the air that could come down at instant speed. So we can go Gilded Goose, make a token. Spawn here. So like in this instance, we make an elk.
I invite you to change your ways.
Offer them the trade. Sounds like a deal. End step, we just Brazen Borrower, flash it in, and then we can make this food token into an elk and then just keep putting pressure on the opponent. At this point, drawing like a Hydroid Krasis would be sweet. I may even switch to play one of the like extra spells. Okay, so they have Mayhem. Likely not going to attack in. Excuse me. Okay, so Leafkin's not going to do that much. It's basically just a blocker at this point.
Let's broaden your existence.
Attacking for 9, and then we can transform the Leafkin into an elk. But they need multiple answers at this point. This deck's sweet. Cool. Good first showing for the deck. Claim our reward. So I think what I want to try to do, just for reference, is just keep a log like that as we're playing through the decks. We'll run it back for another one. This is my favorite part of Standard, when all the decks are still kind of new. Still haven't played Knights. I played a lot of Mono Black. I haven't played any Rakdos Aristocrats. Hardly played any green-black. Yeah, I'll keep this hand. If anyone in chat's played more of this deck, and if I'm keeping wrong hands or anything like that, but I think Once Upon a Time is what we want instead of Brazen Borrower. Okay, so some sort of Gruul aggro. So a little heavy on the lands. I just go this into Nissa. No, that's probably not right.
Open your heart to the
So I'm
magic.
just gonna create a food this turn.
One bite, and all your care.
Sorry about that. Still getting over this stupid cough. Okay, they got Domri, so Domri can fight.
I'm a crazy beast. Where do you see my mates?
And then they can attack in for 4. Which is okay.
I'll think up a fun fate for you.
Ooh, that's good, that's good. Okay, so I gotta go full control. So resolve, fight, activate, kill that, make a food token.
I think a little merriment is in order.
Cool, that worked out. Sorry. This is the first time I did that interaction on Arena. So you gotta hold priority, go full control mode with control, and then you can stack the triggers. This is also good because we can protect it, also pressure Domri. The reason we wanted to get that off the field, we could have made a food token and attacked in, but I think having a big threat that's indestructible will be useful.
I was raised by wolves, though they might have also just been big dogs.
They can do Gruul Spellbreaker, attacking with haste here. I just go shock.
Quite the nibble.
Honestly, if that's like all they're doing for the turn, they're spending a bunch of resources, I think that's a fair trade. We got Nissa attacking with the token, and then Paradise Druid after. Yeah, we go Bone Crusher.
Share my vision.
So they've spent quite a few spells this turn.
I will aid you. Rise, my elemental friend.
So let's take Domri out. It lowers the power of their other creatures. It also keeps them off the land, which they missed.
We will rise again.
And let's just go Paradise Druid here. The Druid can attack. They got the Bone Crusher Giant that could come down this turn. It's a 4/3. So it can trade with one of our lands. I'm not too worried with that at this point, if we could pressure them. If they want to go Wicked Wolf, we can... That's quite annoying. So I can do another Forest, but I think I like keeping those for Hydroid Krasis. So let's do this. Creates another food token. Animate the island.
The land fights for us.
Got him. 2-0. This deck's solid. So we'll see how many games before we want to try out Once Upon a Time. instead of Brazen Borrower. But I think we play this version out till we lose. Hey Pickles, how's it going? I apologize if I don't get to the audio quick enough when I'm coughing. Let's keep this hand. You can just do a big Hydroid Krasis to refill our hand after some ramp. Let's go Druid. If they led with something more aggressive, but this looks like just a stompy list. Broco. Okay. So it's actually pretty good because I can do this.
Those blind to tyranny are lost. They just
Can do this and then play out a Hydroid Krasis. Next turn, refill our hand.
One bite, and all your cares are gone.
Wildborn Preserver is fine. So it'll be turn 4. We'll have access to 1, 4, 7 mana. So they can pay a mana into the Preserver. I think we just take the damage here.
Ooh, I feel so alive.
So I can make this a 3/3. So let's actually play this out first. So X equals 5. It's quite annoying. Let's see what we draw. Okay, Brazen's not bad. We have a blocker there, so I think we just bring this up to 5 mana.
Welcome to the feast.
So they could go like Vivian here. Put some... Oh, they go Questing Beast. So they do have to hit in with a couple things. I'll trade with the Questing Beast. That seems like a fair trade in my opinion. Oh, this got Death Touch, right? Nah, that's still probably worth it. Because we got the Borrower we can bring down. Ooh, yes, yes, that is something we are interested in.
Oh dear.
So I'm just gonna attack in. I think putting some pressure on the opponent's good. So if I do this, I have access to... No, so I want to be able to bounce something, as well as cast it on the same turn, so we'll hold up our mana. So we'll return this. I'm short of blue mana. Just like, I guess the Goose is better. We go Goose because I gotta make a I can make a food token here, so it's block. And then I can animate the food token. I forgot that secondary ability. That's fine. Okay, so let's go full control. We're gonna fight the Growth Chamber Guardian. Got him. 3-0 with the deck. Up to gold 2. Let's just update the record. And then let me know too, like, if you find me posting records on these decks useful, just so you get a feel. Like, my sample size will usually be pretty small on a lot of these. We usually play about an hour, between 45 minutes and an hour I try for most decks. If we're playing best of 3, then it's usually only like 2 matches. So it's not going to catch you with as much. Keep. So, not as thrilled. No worries. I was worried earlier. It's been like crazy weather here. So we're in Canada, so it's Celsius, but we went from about 15 degrees, so like fall weather, up to... We got up to 31 with the Humidex today in one day, which is like really messed up for a one-day swing in temperature. So it's been thunderstorming. It's been like crazy weather. So this probably is like an Improbable Alliance Ironcrag Pyromancer deck. Might be a Phoenix deck. So going over the top might be okay. We do have flyers to trade with the Phoenix, which isn't too bad. We go Shock. It's a little unfortunate because I can't play Nissa next turn. We will set up the Scry. We can do Druid. Guarantee it that way. Just pass turn. So I can Borrower if they play like Ironcrag Pyromancer. They just idea here. So they got 2 Radical Ideas in the bin. It's a very awkward way of showing. So we're just going to go tempo play here. Bounce that to the hand. Let's go Nissa. Let's just do the island here.
Behold, nature's true power.
So I could go with a Brazen Borrower, drop it down, but I think, ooh, that's good. That's a good way to fill our hand, and they're going to have a hard time beating a big Hydroid Krasis. So they took us off a land. So I think we just refill our hand next turn. They're likely holding up a Radical Idea. Give me 1 sec, Pickles. Let me just play out this turn, and then I'll let you know. Sorry, I just want to make sure I don't misclick.
Harness the elements.
So that's X8. So I like this just to give us some card advantage. It also puts a 2-turn clock on them. And in Izzet colors, they're not going to have a way to deal with an 8-8. And especially clearing that. So thoughts on Golgari Adventure. I like the Jund version more. I like when they play the Shock Exile with the 4-3. Forget its name. Countryside Smasher or something like that. I've lost it a couple times. It's got a lot of redundancy to it. I'm a fan of anything with the Beanstalk Giant, but the Clover gets you a lot of advantage. The 1-drop that draws you cards is pretty solid. I'm actually going to do that as my next budget build series.